Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop here. This is what I normally think of as a monkey or auto wrench, this being a 9-inch example. I've got quite a few of these in my collection now, and the other day when I was at the car boot sale I came across this little fella here. And that's really quite interesting because it's got the adjustment knob on the back here. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. When I got it home, on closer inspection, I found it's got Domino here, made in England. So I tried to do a little research. Didn't turn up a great deal, apart from the fact that it was maybe around from about 1908 until at least 1920, if not longer. But anyway, this little fellow cost me all of £1 from the car boot sale. As you can see, it's a little bit beaten up here and there. Somebody's been giving it some welly with a hammer just here on the back end of things, and just here as well for some reason or another. And well, it runs, as you can see, but it does tend to come to a bit of a stop just there, so it won't close all the way. Because this was rather greasy and horrible, I took it to work last week and put it through our parts washing tank. And just to take some of the grime off of it so I can actually, you know, handle it and look at it before I did the review. What I'm going to attempt to do today is to bring this up to almost the standard it was when it left the factory all those years ago. It could be 100 years old, it could be slightly less, I don't really know. Be interesting to know the history of this little fellow. The first thing I'm going to have to do is we're going to try and get this little pin out the back here so that we can actually disassemble a thing. Just grab a screwdriver and give that a go. See how easy it is to get this pin out of here. Well, it's coming out. There's a little bit of rust on it. What's it like inside? Ah, that's not too bad. Fairly shiny so far. Here's the little grub. Here, the grub screw, drive screw, whatever you like to call it. What's that like up the inside of it, guys? That's fairly shiny too up the inside. I think some of the knurling has gone missing from on here. I'm sure it would have had some knurling on there. Alright, so this slides about. I say it'll stop about here somewhere. Won't go any further. And it stops just there, so we can't get it off. Blimey, it's got it stuck. Hang on, guys. Right in. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get a file to it just here. Take these little ridges off. We'll give that a go. Right, and I'm going to use this fairly fine-ish, almost worn down little file here so we don't leave too many marks in the metal here. So, you know, when it comes to clean it, we've not got too many marks to get rid of. So let's have a look. It's fairly hard. Give it a go. Almost. Feels like it might be a fairly decent steel here. At the bottom as well, I think, guys. Maybe on this side too. Still not coming off. That's coming along a bit further. Okay, we had to take a hammer to it, but I got there in the end. Apparently these things have been around since about at least 1908, I think it is. I think I saw somewhere on the web there trying to research it. So it's quite an oldish spanner, otherwise known as a back rack or shifting spanner. Let's have a look now. So we've got this off, so this is going to need a good filing down. We're going to need to file this end as well. How straight is it? I think it's got a little bit of a bend to it by the looks of it, round about here somewhere, but unfortunately I haven't got any equipment that we can take care of that with. I've got a little mark rubbed up just there, no doubt because it's been rubbing up and down on the rack here. The pin doesn't look too bad. That could do with a bit of a polish up by the looks of things. As I say, the knurling has disappeared off of here, and it's got a very nice sharp edge just here as well. Hopefully you can see that. Very nice little sharp edge there. So that'll need doing as well. So we'll have to, what I'll try and do is get this burr off just here, because this is stopping the jaw from sliding. Right, so this is stopping the jaw from sliding all the way down, making complete, you know, closing this up completely. So we'll have to give that a go as well. I wonder if we'll have to resort to the hammer with this bit as well. Hopefully not. During my cleanup process, I hope to keep the Domino and Made in England stamping just there. Right, let's have a look. Not quite. It's not quite so bad at this end, I don't think. Oh, it's getting there now, look at that. Right, and what we've got on this side of things. Yeah, I think I've got a little bit there as well. Oh, look at that, there we go, guys. Okay. Right, as you can see, it doesn't actually close up here. So it's definitely bent. And I think you can see the bend round about there, guys. That's where the bend is, just there. So it's had a bit of a hard life. As I say, I've got no equipment that I can straighten this with, so we're just going to have to run with it as it is. Okay, let's get to the wire brush. This old spanner was one of 4 things I bought that Sunday. I've got 3 high-speed special length drill bits here, number 6 I believe they are. It's still brand new in the packaging, one's been used. I've got another one of these small Elliott Lucas pliers here. Quite nice condition, as you can see, and I bought this brilliant 10-inch Elliott Lucas set of pliers as well. These are going to be projects of mine for the near future. During the next operation, the sanding, wire wheeling shall we say, I'm going to be wearing a respirator, a little dust mask, and some eye pro as well, guys. Right then, it's taking quite a bit of effort to get all these years of patina or crap and filth off of this thing. You can see the difference between here and just here. So there's quite a lot of work to be done on this yet, guys. Quite a lot of work. There could be 10 decades of absolute crap on here, filth and dirt. So let's get my eye pro back on again and we'll have another go at it. Ideally we want to be careful around here because I want to keep these markings. That runs quite smoothly. It'll run a lot better when we get some oil in it though. Got some really rough edges to take off of this little fella. Alrighty, so here we are after the wire brushing. Looks a lot nicer I think already. Interestingly, we have this line running along here. I don't know what that's all about, but it runs all the way along the whole length of the spanner here. Don't know what that's all about. It's looking a lot nicer. You can still see where it's been, where it's had a quite a hard life at the end here. All looking a bit nicer. We've got some dints, which we're going to have a job getting rid of those dints, to be honest with you. We'd have to go too deeply into that. And I don't have a sander at all, belt sander at all. So it's all going to have to be done by file. And then there's this little bit here, this little exceptionally rough little bit sticking out here. That's going to have to be dressed out. I think I might hit that with a hammer so we can get it back down again. So you can see where it's been bashed about. The jaw's a little bit worn here, burred over, so we'll have to take care of that. Bashed up at this side as well. It's not bad elsewhere though, so what's the little wheel like? Here we are, is the little wheel. You can see it's got a lovely sharp edge there. That's going to have to come off for a start. I might even clean that edge. Look at that, I'm going to have to clean that up too, guys. So there's a bit of filing to be done. What's this like? Yeah, it's not too bad either. Be alright when it gets a drop of 3-in-1 oil going on there. Okay, so here's that line I was telling you about. Don't know what that's all about, I'm sure. It's all the way along the whole length of the thing. I don't think it's a crack because it doesn't show up at the other side, look. So it's obviously some sort of scratch or something from years ago. There's the damage, the hammering end. There's the teeth. Gonna need cleaning out. Let's get the wire brush in there then. That's better. It's a little rough along the edges, I think, though, guys. Right, let's get to filing. Going to use a decent file this time. I'm not going to file the teeth, not in this way, not like this, because it might take too much material off and we need that material on there. Alright then, so what do you think so far, guys? Is that looking nicer or what? I think so. Have a go underneath here in a minute. Very gently, you don't want to take too much out though. It's going to be fun going around the top here though. Of course, all this would be a lot easier if I had a belt sander, wouldn't it, guys? Oh, getting stuck. It's a much better fit though, guys. Still gets stuck at the end there though. There we go. Dressed it off quite nicely now. That's much better. Still gets stuck about there somewhere though. Don't know why that should be. That's better. It's obviously still going to be a bit rattly, but that's the way the thing is, isn't it? What can we do with these bits here, do you suppose? Can't take care of this nice sharp bit here. Alrighty guys, let's get it all back together again. We're going to polish. Let's get some 3-in-1 oil. Give it a bit of a wipe down. Get it into the little grooves here, the little threads. Okay, little drop of 3-in-1 just there, and inside the little roller. Pop it on, put some on here as well, get that in there, hopefully. It's a bit tight, but it's going. There we are. Get it tightened up nicely. Right in. What's she like now then? Well, I should say that's a whole bunch better than it was originally. That is well sweet. Okay then, so you remember how the shifting spanner was before we started? Well, let's have a look now, shall we, guys? This is probably how it would have been wrapped, in this sort of like greasy paper here, grease-proof paper, or is it greasy, oily paper here, this special paper. Let's take a look. Well, there we go. Not quite as it would have been, you know, from the shop when the guy bought it all those years ago, all those decades ago, but a huge improvement, I think you'll agree. I'm quite pleased with that. As I say, it is a little bit bent here, and the jaws don't quite meet up properly, as we can see just here. They don't meet up properly, but you know, it's bent. I can't do anything with it. I don't have a a dake, shall we say, a hydraulic press to straighten it out with. I don't have much equipment, so I try to do the best I can with what I have got. Can it still handle a nut though? I have here what I believe to be an M20 nut with a nylock nut here. Let's get the old Domino shifting spanner onto it. Loosen it off. Fits on there not too bad at all. There's going to be a bit of a gap just here and just here because it's, you know, bent. But let's give it a go. Right, now we get into the nylock bit, which it's getting a bit tight now. You can see it's not quite fitting just here properly at all, really. Some light on it so you can see. There we go. But it still works. After all these decades, it still does the business, guys. God, blimey. Nice. Okay, guys, so that's the vintage, the extremely old Domino shifting wrench or back rack. Brought back almost to like new, but not quite. But as best as I can do with the equipment that I've got. Hope you enjoyed this renovation as much as I did. It took me several hours. I think I've been at it probably 3 or 4 hours maybe. It's looking a lot better. It runs quite nicely now, all the way up, all the way back down again. It's really quite smooth now. Get the oil going around in it nicely. So yes, very nice indeed. Another one of these, I guess you could call it a monkey wrench, auto wrench, just slightly different. It's got the rack at the top here instead of down here. Wow, yes, it looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? Only cost me £1 as well, guys, and several hours of work, and look where we got to. I actually got another largish monkey wrench for a future project. This thing is a 15-inch, this one being 11 inches. It's a whopping great big beastie. I think this one's raising at about £3, does this? So that's a future project, guys. Alrighty then. Well, let me know what you think of the Domino shifting wrench or back rack. And I'll see you laters.